Hello and welcome back to the Oceanic Challenger series. You got caught taking a sip.
No, I did it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to me, everyone's
Yes.
favourite caster. OCS once again, black screen.
There we go. You've broken everything as soon as you walked in the building. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since you sat here on the desk.
Yeah, I think it's been like 5 or 6 weeks,
Yep.
something. A lot has happened while I've been gone.
Yep.
We've had some player movements.
We
A
have.
lot of people joined the OPL when the OPL started.
Yeah. We
which
have.
I wasn't here when that overlapped.
Yep. Luch going up from Bombers.
Yes.
Isles has played for AV. We saw
He
Fudge
has.
get upgraded onto Mammoth.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I believe, off the top of my head, I'm looking at the list. I think that's just about it. Have
I
we
like
had
the
anyone
cadence
else?
with which you speak.
No, we had Get Back has played because he was starting the split,
Is he
and then
playing?
Seaman. No, I think Seaman has played in OCS for a while since.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had some shuffling kind of between the two leagues. Talking about shuffling, we'll take a look at the schedule today. That makes absolutely no sense, but Sick, we'll bring it up on your screen to take a look at what will happen sometime later. AV versus Bombers for the first matchup of the day. UQ Union versus Mammoth Academy. QUT Tigers versus Order, which I think should be a relatively close game. Both of those guys sitting at 3 and 5 currently in the league. Gravitas versus UTS. And I think we get to the most interesting part of the day as we head down the list here. Mprox Chiefs, I think, should be a very good game, and then finishing it with Legacy Genesis and a newly second place Dire Cubs here in the OCS for the year.
Yeah, so stick with us while we shuffle through the night. Can't wait for those last 2 games. Look very interesting.
Yeah.
Shuffle.
Yep. And
Legacy playing. Love casting my own team. It's a lot of fun.
yeah, is it? Is it actually fun?
Yeah, I love it.
Or
It's
is
actually
stressful?
no,
Or is it like,
it's super fun because I
Yeah.
don't care about being biased. Like I am, like you know what I mean. I think if I was pretending not to be biased, that would be lying to the audience.
Yeah.
I don't believe I.
You're
I
the
hold
man
them-
of the people.
The people I hold them in too high regard to pretend like I'm not who I am.
Wow, you're just such an altruist.
I do it for them.
It's
I do it for you guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, interesting. I do believe we have a game delay for the first matchup, which is going to be AV versus
Classic
Bombers.
OCS.
And I was told, I haven't been given any more information as of yet, but I was told it wasn't because somebody patched their client. So
They didn't patch their client.
they didn't patch their client. That is a
Important to do
classic
before
error.
you play, guys.
That
You've
is
got
a
to patch.
Classic error.
I got banned one time for not patching, but it was different. It was
What
a
do
long
you
time
mean?
ago, and I had a game, but I was also working full time at the time. This was like just before I went pro,
Yeah.
and they patched on the day that we had to play.
Yeah, that used
And
to
like,
happen. Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
was at work, or I couldn't leave until 5, and I
Mm.
was working in regional Victoria, which was like a 2.5-hour drive for where I lived at the time, my parents' house. And I was just like, I can't play. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I guess
and
just stuffed.
who subbed? Did
Juves.
somebody play? Oh, Juves,
Yeah.
back at Legacy
Yeah,
Juves.
and he went 0-12 on Wukong.
that
Shouts
was
out.
that game.
Shouts out
I played in
Juventus.
that game.
Yeah, he did.
That was that was the birth of a career right there.
Yep.
0-12
That was a great
Wukong.
moment for us all.
That was that was an interesting one. I actually don't remember that game literally at all.
I remember watching it and freaking out because it was like a qualifier. So I was like,
Oh!
we're not going to qualify for this LAN
Did we win?
unless no, I think we lost and we qualified through the losers bracket
Yeah,
like
I
the
think
next
it-
day when I played.
Yeah.
But I remember
you arrogant. You're so arrogant.
But I
Okay.
remember watching and like Choose it was like Choo Choo's versus Juves. So like Choose was like
On the same team,
He was like,
though.
yeah, but he was like Choose is like 8-0 and Juves just 0.
Yeah.
Sorry, Juves, I love you, brother. But also it did happen.
Yeah, I have such a bad memory for like old games. It just doesn't happen. I don't know. I remember a
Great
few
memory.
specific ones, but like
Yep.
it's more just like moments from each game. It's like that time that
Yeah.
I missed the combo on Lloyd at Wildcards,
Yeah,
and Sam
yeah,
reminds
yeah,
me
yeah.
every time my lung pops.
Well, I mean, is that your
Um,
memory or is that Sam
actually-
reminding
no,
you?
that's
Is Sam
genuinely-
being your memory?
Yeah, that's just the story. I actually
Yeah.
don't remember a whole lot. To be
That's
honest,
sad.
that's like
really sad.
they're just sick moments. I remember getting
Everyone's-
boomed by Claire at like Luna Park, I think it was.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
that was a sad time playing
That was-
support against an off roll, and I got stomped. It was only for one game, but
Yes. It was.
I got hilariously boomed. That was a bit
Indeed,
of a
you
roughie.
did. Okay, should we talk about the game that we have coming up?
Yeah.
It's AV versus Boomer.
Mhm.
We don't know who it was that didn't patch.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say it was Seb, because I know for a fact he was playing TFT until 1 a.m. or whatever time it was he went to bed last night, because he was playing with me, and I didn't have a game today. So,
Okay.
Seb, figure it out. What are you doing?
You got here on time.
Yeah, I
And
did,
he-
but also
yeah.
my call time
And
was
he-
3 p.m.
And he's at 5 p.m. though.
True.
But yeah, we don't really know. There are going to be a couple of changes, as there are every single week with the rosters in the OCS. AV, actually, Elo and Tekka just going to be switching roles, but I think that means
Yeah.
literally nothing, given they're both top laners and they're both just kind of playing jungle depending on how the draft goes out.
Yeah, Elo, Sejuani player, I think. I've seen him play.
Yorick player. He's played mid Yorick, he's played jungle Yorick, and I think he's played top Yorick all in the OCS this split.
Okay.
In the time you've been gone, he's
Yeah,
just like...
what's happened?
He's,
I missed a lot.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, like, I'm not an OCS player, I'm just a Yorick player. And
It's like that meme when you're like...
Pick me up and I'll just play wherever you want. It's fine.
When you're waking up in the hospital, you're like waking up from the coma, and it's like, sir, you've been asleep for 7 weeks. It's like, oh, can't wait to watch Elo play Sejuani.
Yeah, and it's just not it. So
No.
it could be interesting. Like
Okay.
they are switching roles on paper, but on paper, like Legacy were doing the switcheroo thing, Bombers were doing it week after week earlier when they had Luch on the lineup. And I mean, that
It really
honestly
doesn't mean anything, to be
Yeah.
honest. At the end of the day, the only thing it means is where your like placard goes on the side of the screen and what order you draft in. Because I remember like ages ago, like 5 years ago maybe, like I remember like Reggie and Dyrus just switched top and mid just for no reason, but they both just started the game and like walked to their respective lanes. Like actually,
wasn't it because Reggie was just like Dyrus, like you don't know, like
because he was stuffing up the bands.
Yeah, you can't ban. Like
Back
you can't...
then, first pick banned all 3 bands.
Yeah,
and
like,
now it's 1, 2, 3 get to ban. But back
like
then,
old solo queue.
yeah.
That's actually something that I feel like trips pro players up. I don't know if that's your experience, but drafting, as soon as you like go from scrimming, let's say on live or something, like playing on live, and then you go into like tournament realm servers, and all of a sudden, like the banning is different. Because still, if you make custom games on live, I do believe it's like first person just bans everything, and then you go to TR, and it's like the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was like that for a long time, but I don't think it's like that anymore.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it does cycle down now.
Yeah,
But it was,
okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And
That was
people
the
are
last,
just
it was
like-
actually the last year that we played.
Well,
was,
no.
That was, because I swear they changed it the year after.
Because I swear it would happen to me on like Gravitas' first split of this year. Like so many times of people just being like, oh, sorry, like I didn't.
I forgot I was banned.
Yeah. It's just, everybody's just like turn around, like drafting, like looking at the thing, looking at somebody else, like, oh yeah, I want to play Sivir this game. Sivir's really good, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Wait.
wait, oh, we've dropped?
Hold up.
Like a Mumu ban?
Whoopsie.
Yeah, it could be it. But going down the train, I guess, of roster movements.
Shuffling down.
Shuffling down the list.
Blind
of Bombers
Turkey
Academy.
subbing in for Bombers Academy. Blind Turkey, actually a long-time analyst of our OPL team, used to run numbers for us for ages. Was really good at that. But his subbing in was also a support player for a long time. I think he played for AV like forever ago. And now playing for Bomber Academy.
Yeah, played a couple of weeks ago, I believe. Same position for Bombers Academy. It was like Bushy. Bushy was just sub extraordinaire. To like fill you in on what's happened with the Bombers. They lost Luch.
Yeah, fill me in. Fill me in for me.
Yeah.
And also for the people who may not have seen the last 7 weeks because they only watch when they know I'm casting.
Yeah, okay, that's all the people.
Imagine it's a lot.
Yeah, for Bombers, like they lost Luch to the OPL.
Yep.
So as soon as that one started, he goes whoop whoop, and then they've been kind of filling all over the place. Gambles played a couple of games, but it was like they're filling that hole, and Bushy, every time somebody is missing, he's the guy that just fills that role. And I feel like Elo has been that for like AV for the most part, and they're both doing similar sort of stuff there, but now it's like, okay, like maybe he can't play this week, Blind Turkey coming in, he played the week before, and there you go.
Yeah,
Caught up.
Bushy's definitely like that. I know Bushy, he played for Legacy for a little while last year, and like when I was speaking to him, like he wanted to trial for like 3 different roles. Like he can't make up his own mind as to what he wants to play.
Is it a good thing or bad? It's like, oh, I'm just too good at all these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's good in the sense that, like, I think there's, like, a really high value in being good at every role.
Yeah,
like, you don't, like, there's, like, 2 different ways you understand other roles, I think, in LoL, and that's, like, as a player who watches that role be played all the time, and, like, you always play with, like, a support. So, like, you have in your mind a picture of, like, what a support does. Like, when I win games, when my support is doing well, it's because he's doing, like, these things. When he's doing bad, it's because he's, like, doing those things. But when you play the role yourself, you get a much deeper understanding, and it's much easier to then like predict what your teammate and what your opponent is going to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's super valuable to be good at
to
every
be
role.
able to functionally play, because like understanding is.
Ideally, you should be like challenger at every role. Like if you're a pro player, like you want to be able to play to that standard. And of course, there's going to be deviation. And okay, 80 carry is like a bit better than the rest, but like. I think that's really, it can only be a good thing, right?
Yeah, certainly is. I have been told we're actually going to go on a 10-minute break. So sorry to cut off the conversation. While we wait for these guys to finally patch their thing, we will be back, hopefully with some readied clients, hopefully getting into draft, and hopefully getting into game number 1. See you there.
will crumble under all of my force will fall. Let's make them crawl. And when we finally meet the king, there will be no ghost for him. We shall end it all.
Welcome back from our lovely 10-minute break. We've been sitting here the whole time, and I say we, as my name is Bryce Egan Paul. This is Tim Carpin-Wendell.
I am rejuvenated.
Yeah, so
I
rejuvenated.
feel rested.
We needed
and
a
relaxed.
rest after that big Game 1 performance that we just...
Yep, and I'm
Yep.
ready to get stuck into some AV Academy versus B52s.
Yes, because that is the news. They have, I believe, filled the lobby. You were close. You were really close, claiming it was Seb, but it was actually Frey that
Yep.
unfortunately didn't give his client the old patcheroo.
Unlucky.
So now
He
he's
should
in
know
the
better.
lobby, and
I don't
yeah,
know.
he really should.
But also,
Out
we
of all
don't know
the
what
people-
happened. We don't know
out of
what
all
happened.
the people on this list.
Maybe he had a car accident today or something. You know what I mean? Maybe he
that-
just had a really tough day. Couldn't get home in time to patch. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's not judge him.
That went dark really quickly. I say let's judge and not give those sort of
Let's
outs,
not.
you know?
Okay, let's just judge.
Yeah, let's just judge.
Get it together, Frey.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's in the lobby. We'll be getting into Champ Select very soon. But of course, given the rules of the OCS, that does mean they're going to lose, I believe, all 5 bans. So that's a little bit of a roughie. We've had the conversation, I believe, with a couple of people now many times about like which side does that kind of benefit on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think on that one, just quickly, it's always changing.
Yes.
But I think more interestingly, that losing all your bans is not as bad as losing only some.
Oh. Why?
I think it throws the enemy team for a bigger loop than you. So, like, it really depends on, I guess, champion pools of the players.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I'm
Assuming,
team,
like...
yeah, so if I'm AV right now, it's like, oh, by the way, enemy team has no bans. And so my
Yeah.
draft just got completely thrown out of the window.
Yeah.
Because they're no longer banning the things I was assuming they were going to ban.
Yeah.
So now I, like...
But how does that
Bombers, they
change-
have no options. They're purely reactive, so they're just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, they'll probably might do this, and like maybe we can sort of do that if they do, but we don't really know. So they're just like relaxed.
They're just like...
They're calm.
We're cooked
There's-
anyway,
yeah,
so like we
they're
just get what
zen.
we're given.
They're zen. They're just like, look, this is just going to happen to us, and we just need to deal with it the best way we can. Meanwhile, AV are in total scramble mode, like, oh shit, what do we ban?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know. I thought you were saying that losing 5. You're
Well, I
saying
still think
yeah,
that,
losing
like-
5 as opposed to 3 gets you to the point where you're just like, well, who cares?
Whatever.
Like, it's,
Yeah.
It's done. What's done
Actually,
is done.
Yeah, maybe 2 is...
Well, can you lose 2? You can lose 3.
You can lose 1.
Ah, yes, you can. No, you're right. Yeah, you can use 1.
You can lose, like, you can have like a 2 bans as opposed to 3-2. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You
can
don't
lose,
just
like,
lose the first 3 instantly.
Yeah. I'd have to read the rules
think.
again, but
I'm
I
pretty
do.
sure.
I think you lose like, and I mean, I'm sure I'll be corrected in my ear if I get this wrong, but I think you lose like 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't know
Yeah,
if it gets
yeah.
to 4.
No,
I think it
no,
just
that
like,
definitely doesn't go to 4.
and then it's just like, okay, like
Yeah.
then you FF if you
Yeah.
can't like make it to the lobby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But yeah, no, I think because it's definitely happened to me in the past where like the other team loses their bans, and I'm like, oh, like, what do we like? You know what I mean?
What do we
Total
do?
panic of
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do
yeah.
we do?
Yeah. Because it's also like it adds an extra layer of pressure. Like, oh man, you lost to a team without bans. you're so trash. Like, what
Yeah.
what is going on? Like,
But
there's
it's
that-
like you don't
yeah.
want to see like, and especially if people have like certain picks, and it's like, oh, I was always going to ban, like we were going to ban these champs because we knew they had to ban these OPs, but now like all the OPs are up, and that's like, okay, am I going to ban the OP or like the target ban I had planned? Like, what's worse? He
What- yeah,
plays
what
the
it-
strongest game in. Does he, you know, playing the strongest champ in the game, is that worse, or playing like their best champ?
Yeah.
Which is worse? And now you have a whole new set of questions to deal with.
Yeah, and I guess we will see what happens with those questions, as I believe we're actually getting into Champion Select. So, took a little while, because of course all Frey's fault, but we will make it nonetheless. Here we go, Champion Select, game number 1, AV versus Bombers Academy.
Elo top lane.
Yeah, Tekka in the jungle,
Okay, you know what they need? They need a no-ban option in TR.
rather than just like,
I don't like sitting here for the full 20 seconds every time.
yeah, okay. Little cheeky on-broadcast feedback for Riot Games. Live, twitch.tv/Riot Games host. Like,
Slash
hey,
feedback.
You know what Riot needs?
Actually, the last time I was here, I was doing the same thing. I was like,
Yeah,
I
okay.
need to nerf this champion.
Yeah.
I don't work at Riot, but I'm in Riot. Now what?
Hey, you have the microphone. The microphone comes with some responsibilities that clearly.
What's a responsibility if you can't be held accountable? Okay,
Fair
so that's
enough.
20 seconds wasted by watching Bombers not ban, and then AV. See, look, they're like instant, and now I got to
Yeah.
watch 25 seconds of nothing again.
And I think they're instant, but also interesting. Elise and Sivir, I don't think really spring to the top of, I guess,
Seb is pretty good at Elise, and Elise has a
Yeah.
very high win rate in solo queue at the moment.
Yes.
There's not a ton of Pro League. Oh, no. What am I talking about? We had OPL. Everything was on last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This weekend we won't have
Yeah,
a
this
lot
weekend is when we won't.
because of Rift Rivals. But
yeah.
like, I'm thinking like the meta-defining champions, like a lot to do with like the Sejuani, Aurelia, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Seb definitely, and has been vocal, like he doesn't want to play Sejuani,
No.
even if she's the best. So it's
There
like,
are very few junglers who do. Like,
Yeah.
you sort of, like, you know, obviously play her anyway. And she's fine when you're winning, I guess, in a way.
no, winning is fine.
Yeah,
Sejuani is
yeah,
fun.
winning is fun. But, yeah, I think both Kindred and Elise are champions that Seb has played a fair bit of.
Yeah.
And in terms of his aggressive picks, those are
Yeah.
definitely the ones that stand out to me.
Mhm.
Like, if I'm playing against Seb and I'm afraid of getting punished for, like, whatever I'm
Whatever
going to pick,
matchup, yeah.
I'm thinking, like, okay, he's probably going to play Elise and Kindred.
If you're going more like stable, then maybe you do tread back into like a Rek'Sai or like
Yeah,
that sort of stuff when you're
yeah.
looking at like Seb. But yeah, that could be it. Last band is going to trickle away. So Bombers, absolutely nothing
Interested.
taken off the board.
To see the first pick here.
Yeah.
Because there is so much stuff up.
Yeah, I think it defines a lot, right? Like it.
Like Sona.
No way. Oh.
Okay, yeah. There's another one. Like, I was going to say Sona, Karma. They banned the Siva, but there's heaps of super strong champs. Sedge got through.
Yep. Because this could just be like a Sejuani Aurelia, and then you look at that draft
Yeah.
and it's like Bombers. Oh, that looks like a strong start.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't actually have 9.12, I believe. Yeah, it is patch 9.12 on OCS last week. It was OPL.
Yeah.
No Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
So this is the first games on this patch here for the Challenger League. Of course, that does mean Karma buffs. Very strong at lane, very good out of lane, just incredibly annoying. Can kind of be played all over the place, even sometimes in the AD carry position as well. So very versatile there, and I guess does potentially warrant a first pick, but it does leave over a lot for Bombers to play with.
Yeah. I mean, I like Karma because it's so flexible.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really show anything by picking her. She's just really strong at the moment.
And I think blue
It's
side kind of
real.
benefits for the flexibility more than red side. Because blue side
get
has
more
to
out of it.
show
Yeah.
eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like red side can just kind of play the waiting game and be like, okay, they will show us our lanes before we get the last pick. But
Yep.
blue side Karma flexible lock-in does mean that is potentially not an option here. But
For those who were watching before the break, I did say that they would play Sejuani, but I thought it would be Elo playing Sejuani. But Karma Sejuani, extremely tanky at the moment. Camille, also flexible.
yeah,
We've seen it mid. We've seen it top.
really only with the Sejuani is flexible.
Yep.
But obviously they've locked that one in. And I will say they can trade. It could be Elo on the Sejuani. Tekka could be playing Karma top. He could be playing whatever top.
True, true.
They can still switch that one up. And they haven't locked this
Okay.
Camille in, and they will switch it over to the
Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa.
Free lane against Ezreal, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Relatively. I
Yep.
mean, you have shown half a support, I guess, given that you can go into solo lanes, but like a Kai'Sa Karma into an Ezreal kind of whatever lane probably should be fine.
She got played
Bombers-
jungle in
Yeah.
LPL, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I haven't watched that game.
I didn't see the game either.
No,
no.
I only heard about it. Like, I know when she first came out, people were jungling with her. I remember watching like Levi and like a few other players like streaming her in solo queue playing
Yeah.
jungle. She does do a lot of percentage HP damage, which helps you clear jungle camp super fast. She has AoE as well.
Imagine she would just like one-shot
Post
single camp.
6, she's got the gap close.
Yeah, like
Um,
as long as you, like a lane has set up for you, you can just
Yeah.
ult in from
Yeah,
fog.
yeah.
Or you can like Hail Mary the W if it lands, you can get yourself in. But
Yeah. So I mean, she's not obviously not a natural jungler, but can be done. I don't expect it to happen
yeah,
here,
with
but
Sejuani.
fun to postulate.
Gragas was the lock-in though on the other side, so potentially the jungler there for Seb being locked in.
Would assume so.
Yeah.
Would assume so. Okay, so yeah, 5 bans lost, so more
It's
no
just-
bans.
Yep.
AV just taking a little bit of time to think.
Yeah, well now they've got something to actually think about, given that it wasn't just the preparation before the first part. Lux
Good ban.
is going to get banned away. So that kind of, in my head, speaks that it probably is going to be a Karma in the bottom lane.
Okay.
At least somewhat. You just kind
Is that a
of...
tough matchup?
I don't think it's the toughest, but like removing things that outrange you, potentially a good idea. I think on the Karma, right? Like
Yep.
if you go down
Makes
the
sense.
list, like not necessarily meta right now, but you have like the Zyras, the Luxes that you do get towards that like extreme. And I guess bullying an Ezreal, like he's very good at just being okay. Can just build
Yeah.
tier, kind of do nothing, like
Yeah,
get towards the
yeah.
TP, get himself a reset. So if you are like looking at this lineup already and being like, yeah, we do want to play towards bottom side, then I think that ban definitely does make sense. It could just be like a strong ban right now. They look at Lux
Yeah,
at the
I
champion
am
pool and they're
really
just
big
like,
on Karma top.
Yeah.
I feel like Karma top is just so good. Like wins so many lanes, so hard to gank.
Yeah.
Scales into the mid game
Extra W is
incredibly well. Like, I think I like her top most. Even if they were to play bot side here, I would love to see like some sort of CC support, like
Galio,
maybe
Nautilus.
like Galio, Galio, Nort, Thresh, Braum, like, because I feel like if you can use two CC supports to get the Kai'Sa ahead, and then you have that like
might as well,
ridiculous Karma mid game on the solo lane Karma with the extra XP. Yeah, there we go. It's so dangerous. It's so hard to kill her too.
I think already that is a dangerous matchup locked in for Bombers, like the Blind Thresh, in theory, right? And I think Nautilus Kai'Sa definitely will have the upper hand. Thresh, incredibly squishy early. I feel like Nautilus is kind of the same, but in terms of early wave clear, once you get past like the level 1, level 2 mark, Kai'Sa has a little bit of an edge there. And that's...
Is that a lock-in?
Yeah, that's a
it
lock-in.
was.
That's an interesting insta-lock there for AV, the last
Karma
pick.
mid?
Yeah.
Could be
Looks
cleared.
like it.
It's probably just whatever the flex is.
Well, it
Probably
depends,
just
like-
wherever Aurelia goes
If
is where...
Aurelia,
how's Aurelia Kled? I feel like
Kled
in my
favored, I
mind
would
it's Kled
assume.
flavored.
Or
Tastes like Kled.
I feel like Kled would taste
Kled
like
juice.
utter garbage.
Yeah, he would.
But Aurelia's damage is all really like front-loaded. It's like she hits you with something, gets the resets,
Yeah,
and she like,
yeah, and then it's
she,
just like-
she blows everything, and then it's like, okay, I'm Kled, I've been demounted, but
Yeah.
I'm just whacking your head the
Then he gets a
entire time
lizard
in
back.
melee range, and then
So Prox Conqueror
gets Skull back, and
gets back on his lizard.
yeah.
Thresh top. Sick.
Sick. Sick. I just as we're talking about, like, yeah, this Kled is going to chase the Aurelia. That might not be the case.
Well, we don't know. Like Elo is going to play the Kled,
Yeah.
but we don't know what lane he's going to play it in.
How's it?
He could just run mid.
Karma into Aurelia. I feel like mid lane, decent.
I don't think there's much room for for Aurelia to do much
Yeah.
in mid.
Yeah, especially in mid. Like long
Yeah.
lane, like gank setup, like is really the big thing that hurts Karma. Like
Yeah.
at least somewhat.
Yeah.
Like she's very oppressive
Having the ult and the stun,
obnoxious.
like-
yeah, 1v1. But as soon
Yeah.
as you introduce like another person, mid lane being shorter though makes that a little bit harder. That's gonna be it.
The
Locked in.
remix. Yeah. Across the board, I don't know. I feel like Bomber's going to do a lot of stuff early. Poppy pretty good, but doesn't scale particularly well. Likewise, Gragas, Aurelia. I mean, Ezreal's pretty good now with the AP build, but
Yeah.
looking at that AV comp, it's just like, it's just one of those classic OS, face roll, shields, move speed, like someone overcommits, they just barely survive, and then they
Yeah.
turn and kill you all, take Baron, game, like, you know what I mean?
And I think like a lot
I've
of
seen
it
that so many times.
does come from the Karma in the ability for that to like scale into later. Like you look at these sort of comps somewhat and it's like, okay, like the one that outscales normally has more side lane threat later and that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. But it's like as soon as you introduce a Karma, the ability for you to just find your engage and steamroll a team fight gets ever so easy.
Well,
And I
you-
guess the ability for the Karma to kind of account for any extra scaling on your AD carry make him even better towards the late game.
You just get so many attempts
Yeah.
with
yeah.
Karma. It's just so free. Like the ult is just such a slow cooldown,
Yeah, it's
low
like 8
cooldown.
seconds late
Yeah,
game.
and
You're
you're
just
just-
spamming it.
You're just throwing E, run up. If they don't respect you, you engage. If they do respect you, you gain ground, and then you just do it again in 8 seconds.
You get the vision, then you walk
Yeah,
away. It's
yeah.
like, okay.
Slowly just push them out.
So, Ward in the top dot bush from Seb, but it isn't early enough to be able to swap out for the sweeper or any sort of level 1 shenanigans like that. But interesting that AV haven't dropped a single ward of their own as of yet. Late ward will come through with Relopal. So potentially afraid of a cheeky little late invade, maybe getting cheesed in the river.
Yeah, that's a weird ward.
It is.
Like, my assumption is, okay, maybe something's happened in scrims. Maybe they've lost a game somewhere where, you know, they got cheese in the tri-bush and they lost the game because they lost bot control or something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 1v1, even if they got cheesed, the 1v1 would be pretty close. And Sejuani is bot
It
to like
almost-
follow up quickly.
It almost could be the complete opposite, and it's like, okay, we think their Gragas will start top side, and we will be fine. So we want to remove the possibility for Ezreal getting like the tiniest advantage. Like it's a Q. You know he
Yeah.
walks into the bush, so you
Yeah.
don't want to give him an extra slice sack of gold. It's like, we're okay down here regardless.
Yeah, we don't need the wards maybe.
Yeah, we don't need it
Yeah.
to live, so we can just
Yeah.
kind of expend it on like a small little potential advantage that he could gain.
Yeah.
Of course, it was the leash coming through from Zenk and Blind Turkey, so level 1 shenanigans was not the case at all, but would have been defended either way.
Kramer top.
Yep.
Kled followed Aurelia mid. So Elo,
Go West Smarts.
usually a mid laner, top laner, now playing mid. Kentai doing what Karma does.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? This is... I feel like Poppy into Karma sounds very difficult.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. You
I'm-
do have, like, out of all of the tanks, like, you have the ability to take Grasp, and you can Buckler throw your, like, Grasp proc and get a tiny bit more health back.
Yeah.
But that's
mean-
like silver. That's like you're scraping the bottom of the
Yeah.
barrel for ways
You're
to
really
deal
trying to
with.
figure stuff
Yeah,
out.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine that Poppy, pretty good kill pressure with the gank.
Yeah.
Elo engages. Bear
Yeah.
trap works. Cops a stun though, so Frey gets out.
Close little fight, looking for some of that damage, and I guess that is kind of what we were talking about with the matchup, at least early. Kled just able to push this one in, play within the wave a lot more, and Aurelia does respect when she gets towards that level 6 mark, has more opportunity, but will be hard nonetheless. This is
He walked
something-
over a ward in the
Yeah,
river,
okay.
so like AV no. Seb was sort of hoping. Sometimes as a jungler, you just hope.
That sounds so sad.
It is. But yeah, it didn't pay off there. But I wanted to say very quickly about Kled. He stacks Conqueror so early, so
Yeah.
quickly in the early levels, whereas like Aurelia really can't.
Yeah,
needs
that's
to.
true.
I mean, she doesn't even have it for one. She has Grasp, but he can just dash in. He gets those 3 ultra quick autos,
Yep.
and then Conqueror's pretty much procced. And
Fully stacked, raring to go.
yeah, ooh, I really thought that was going to hit.
Yeah, actually looked close. Cheeky last hit on the minion. Hook goes flying through afterwards. Of course, with a chunk that Elo was able to attain in the mid lane, forcing Frey back a little bit. You saw on the mini-map, Tekka goes towards top side. They get a bunch of good vision up there. So despite Seb not being on a ward now, he was spotted earlier. This is an AVA lineup that definitely have very good tabs on the jungler. And I think going up against Bombers, that's something you need to have. A lot of their success, at least in the early games, has come through Seb. He's been picking up the champions that were banned away, like the Kindreds, and getting things done, making things happen. And a lot of their early game leads that do snowball off of come from that guy in the jungle. So, keeping tabs on him, big priority here.
I mean, all things considered, he is up 6 CS
Yes!
in the top lane. I was feeling really bad for him again, just watching him just get pwned. Just get an auto attacked by base skin Karma.
he didn't even get a skin.
Like, this guy doesn't even play top lane. He plays mid. He got auto filled. He doesn't play Karma, but he heard it was strong. He just locked in Karma. Doesn't have a skin. Other guy just picked Poppy. Thought he was laning
Yeah.
against Kled, and now he's just getting auto attacks.
Yeah, and I think he's actually in a very good position. The wave building into the Karma, I feel like Poppy Gragas, probably a relatively good dive, specifically into Karma. If you flash stun with Poppy, there's really no ability for her to get off the Mantra W. Like, 2 procs aren't going to come through. And I think
Yeah,
like
probably.
the potential like
Gragas
could
will
be
do enough
there.
damage.
Yeah, if they can look for that one, if they do want to. Ward goes fairly shallow there from shore, so I expect that they're not looking too aggressive on the top side, and he's just kind of happy with the situation right now. Hasn't been punished that much early, up in CS.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, I
He's
think
popping.
Kentai's tried to freeze the wave.
Yeah.
But in the process of doing so, he's sort of left, like, he's let up the pressure. Like, he had a
Yeah.
and he's just popped his second pot, but he had a 2-pot advantage on the corrupting pot, and, like, he just wasn't using it. He was just happy being shoved in, because
Yeah.
I assume in his mind, he was going to be able to get the freeze, but, like, we've just seen, unless he freezes here, which I don't think he's going to be able to, as there's a gank in the mid lane.
Yeah, Frey actually lands the stun, does connect, but Elo dashing out towards the bottom side river. Saw Seb cheekily on the other side of his screen, but runs the hell away from that one.
TP back in from shore. He's now finished. He's got Biscuit. He's got Barmies. He's got a Null Magic. And I feel like from here, probably going to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I feel like that's
I mean-
the worst part of the lane already over, right?
Yeah, and for me, I sort of assumed, I didn't look. In my mind, Karma had, Frey lands another stun. Nothing doing though. In my mind, like, I thought he had Klepto. Like, this whole time,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
look at Comet. I
Comet,
was just
yeah.
like, oh yeah, he's just getting autoed, Klepto procs, blah, blah, blah.
It's
but
like, there's a CS discrepancy, but it's like, okay, like,
he's up 200 gold.
yeah, he's gonna be kleptoing his
yeah.
head the entire laning
But it's
phase,
actually
no?
not the case at all, and Sure shoves a wave in, and Kentai's going to have to go home soon because he doesn't have any pots left. He's not running Biscuiteer, and he's pretty much of mana.
Of mana. The
Yep.
classic old saying. But yeah, you're right. TP probably will come through here now that Shaw is able to get back to lane. He's already TP'd on his own volition, and we'll just be able to push that one through.
He's going to get caught here.
Hmm.
Nice flash. If flashing for poor positioning can be nice.
got over the wall. Elo
He got
shoved
away.
in, means
Yep.
that the ability to fight that one probably not too great. Sejuani just level 5 as well.
Bear trap on a rope
Ooh.
connects. Elo procs the Conqueror, but doesn't decide to commit. He had already used all his abilities, so didn't really feel like queuing in with nothing. Seb starts the dragon up. Gragas not a great dragon taker earlier as Elo.
Okay, Frey incredibly low. Actually going to chase that one forwards. Flashes over the stun, or so he thought, but picks that one up. First blood for Elo.
Damn, Elo with the flash out play. Frey, I mean, with the camera panned away, not sure what happened there. But Elo just waited, I think, for his bear trap to come back up and then just re-engaged.
Yeah. Like it looks like
Hit him with the ults.
Yeah.
Frey just maybe disrespecting the cooldowns there a little bit. Maybe not totally aware of the bear trap on a rope cooldown from Kled. Gets punished, loses his life.
And was probably in one of those situations where he's like, okay, like Seb is starting the dragon on Gragas, right? Sejuani knew he was there. They watched him ward over the wall, and it's like, okay, I'm going to push my wave in and I'm going to come.
Yeah.
And you kind of let your guard down a little bit. He's like, okay, like the
Yeah, you start
decisions
thinking about the
are
dragon.
already made.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm going to
yeah.
push this wave in. I'm going to walk to dragon.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, bear trap on a rope, slightly shorter cooldown than you expect. Elo lands it again, and it's like, okay, I've got double Dorans. He had double longsword at the time, so he's stacked full of AD and just kind of rips him to shreds there.
Yeah, just, you know, pan your camera across to Dragon, like jungler's saying like, hey, can you come to Dragon when you get the chance? And you're like, yeah, I got priority.
Yep.
Pan your camera across, pan back, Kled stabbing your eyes out. Bugger.
Yeah.
My bad, guys.
Yeah, is up about 20 CS. I think the wave is large, so probably more like 10 CS once that does crash. But given that he fell down, Seb didn't feel safe securing the dragon that he had started earlier. Probably required some health. Gragas does fall pretty low to especially an Earth Dragon. He takes so long to do in the early game if you don't have
Yeah.
friends, so...
Yeah, Gragas not a great Dragon taker
Yep.
either. Like, that W does good damage, and that's pretty much it. But I was actually going to comment on how Elo had pretty significant lane pressure early on. We saw a few really dangerous-looking trades, but that Frey had stabilized the lane. He was approximately 20
Yeah.
CS up, shoving the wave in. Like, it looked like this counter pick wasn't really doing very much, and just before I said it, thankfully, Elo just solo kills him.
Because that would have been almost 2 from 2, right? We're looking at the karma, and it's like, oh, we would have thought she maybe bullied the Poppy a lot more.
Yeah.
Not being the case. This Kled answer into the Aurelia, chased it around, they held the flex, and wasn't making
Okay.
things happen. But round
There's
number
no
2
Kled
of the
ult.
Dragon.
Not sure if this is going to go ahead. Tekka
Oh, here we
ults in.
go.
Hits on the Thresh. Nautilus ult through to Ezreal. Ezreal gets knocked. Flash forward. Ult forward from Style. Blind Turkey falling low. Stopwatches come out. Frey gets stunned up though. I think this is going to be an AV victory, and Blind Turkey, that's 3 for nothing.
Yeah, and what felt like a very slow skirmish there. Zenk just stripped of positioning, stuck in the blue pit, no ability to help his teammates, and that's exactly it. Tekka able to start that one off. They get the CC, they get the lockdown, they get the cleanup and the dragon. So AV gold lead in their hands, walking away with the buff. Very good start to this game here.
Second death now for Frey. Elo picks himself up a few assists. Curious to see what he comes back to lane with.
Yeah.
2 kills for the Kai'Sa as well is not where you want to be if you're a B52 fan. Kai'Sa really is sort of the win condition. Kai'Sa Kled.
Yeah.
The win conditions for AVA, and they're the 2 people with all the money at the moment.
Couldn't go to better people. Nothing has really happened in the early game for the bottom lane so far. 11 minutes into this game, Ezreal, Thresh, Nautilus, Kai'Sa has been fairly stable, just trading wave priority back and forth. Roughly even CS there between the two. We are actually going to get the full AD, or at least start of that, from the Kai'Sa. It's not going to be the Muramana tier build that we have seen rise in popularity in recent times. So, Styled, I think, will spike a little bit earlier this game, probably slightly earlier than that of Zenk. Ooh, Lantern does go down, and the E.
Okay.
AV know both of the
Aggro trading.
cooldowns, and Tekka is around.
Relopal's looking for the hook.
Ooh, okay.
Tekka is on a ward, and Aurelia's making her way down, and he might be out of position. He doesn't have his flash up, and I think that might be all she wrote for Tekka.
Play lands, hook goes a little bit wide, but no flash available. Frey finally arriving to the play, stun.
Oh, that is...
Isn't going to land. He did get the assist,
Yeah,
but...
that's not what you want from a mid-roam. You're 0-2. There's a freebie kill on the board, and you're thinking, oh, I've got Sheen, I've got Phage, I've got Dagger. This is my way back in.
Now, I feel like you're going to back me up on this one.
Lands.
Hold that.
Blind Check is getting ulted, though. Style with a Q, ults forwards onto Zenk. Zenk has flash, but so does Styled.
Yeah, okay, so we're just straight up 2 versus 2. Seb once again rotating down for a reactionary play, but won't find it. So another advantage over to AV. They pick up another kill, trading back that death from Tekka. But I was going to say, and I think you will agree with me on this one, out of all the Oceanic players, and I mean Oceanic inclusive of OPR, not just OCS,
Right.
mid laners that would be squealing, and I just mean absolutely squealing for them to his team to give him that kill.
Yep.
Brandon, New, and Claire. If he was Frey walking down and it's
I
like...
don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
My experience of Brandon is not really that.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Certainly when I played with him, it wasn't that. When I played with Brandon, Brandon was pretty far down the resource tier list. But that was self-inflicted. I think, you know, he was in a new environment, didn't want to ask for too much. You know, we'd be taking enemy blue and he'd be like, can I get this blue?
Oh,
and I'd be
okay.
like, oh, my bad, man. Didn't hear you.
My F key is really sensitive. I don't,
Yeah.
It just happened.
But I don't know, he's on Chiefs now, and I mean, everyone
Different
knows what happens
environment,
when you
change.
join the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You become insufferable, so... So who knows, maybe he's like that now.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who
Could be the
knows?
case.
Not me.
Yeah, but a couple of things happening right now. It is going to be the bot turret, or at least attempted trade there for the Rift Herald. So Bomber's going to walk away with Shelly, and this tower is close to being broken. Tekka walking down is probably going to secure that one. Actually,
Are they going to stick around? There's a dive opportunity here.
oh,
They've walked forwards. No flashes on either of the two members. Tekka has his ultimate available. Flail lands, as does the permastun.
oh,
Ult goes wide,
yeah.
but the hook lands, and that's going to be another stun, and that's going to be Blind Turkey dead. 3 kills for the support, 3 kills for the AD carry.
Yep. Very rough bottom side of the map. Zenk and Blind Turkey, no vision in their own jungle. No idea that Tekka was just kind of sitting behind them. Walk to what they think they're like going to save the turret, but 14-minute dinged at exactly the right moment there. Styled hits it with the last auto attack, and he thinks it wasn't going to kill the turret. Fortunately, it is just enough damage and able to secure that one. So this is a tier 2 push on the bottom side. Seb is looking for something as a response on the other side of the map, and I do believe he just was warded. So.
He has to dive this. It doesn't matter that they see him. He has to know that he's heralding.
Oh.
Okay.
Shelly will get the aggro at least initially, so they can
Yep.
re-dive off this
not
play.
If the, okay.
But
Okay,
a
smart by
1v1.
Kentide to move forwards. Looking for the solo kill on Shore. TP's coming in as well. Thresh is there to back Shore up.
Yep.
Seb's been caught by Elo. Cleardold is available. Will he take it?
No. Walks away. So,
No.
Kentai, AV, play that one very smart. It's not a 2v1 underneath your turret if you leave the turret, walk towards the top laner, and just kind of bash his head in. So,
Yep.
Shaw gets pushed into Narnia, forced out of that one, and the TP does secure the turret as well. So, basically, a turret for nothing on the other side, and Rift Herald is gone. So, Bombers don't even have one in the bank at this stage. If you're an AV fan, this is certainly the start to the game you would like to see. Your Kai'Sa is coming online very soon. That's a Gwynsu's.
This is a fire
in
drake too.
less than 1,000 gold there, ready to be completed off the back of this fight. So
Did Bomber's platings were down when he dropped that?
yeah, no,
So
it's
he
long
didn't
gone.
even get the gold. Like he got nothing. He got
That's
a
why you
chunk-
see
he
like
got
a
a chunk and then had to leave.
Yeah, that's a 4,000 gold lead. Fairly significant at only 15
Yeah.
minutes. The Mountain and the Infernal at the hands of AV, so
You don't like seeing that bigger gold discrepancy between a klepto user and a non-klepto user.
Yeah.
That is.
the point of the Klepto is like, oh, I have a free lane, I'm fine, and then it's like a win more. And then if you don't win, where's the more?
Where's the more? Where does the more come in? I was promised more.
And yeah, if that doesn't click through, then
Look, I'm sorry,
Certainly
mate. You
could
only
be a
get the
bad
more if you
time.
don't lose lane. No one told me that.
turret does eventually fall on the top side. Frey deployed up here is able to take that one down, so the response is there eventually. Kind of just the tempo sack there, given that they did take over the dragon. An extra reset there from AVA.
Oh, take it
Tekka
with the steal.
Has a level lead now, 20 CS-ish.
It's definitely a feels
over
good.
Seb.
Map open now.
Mhm.
Top and bot. Tier 1s have fallen, so we'll see dual lanes in the mid lane. We'll see a little bit of macro come into play. You can play around the wave priority the best. Helps, of course, when you're 4K up.
Yeah, and also got the matchups you wanted, given that.
Yeah.
Given
Like,
that it was like
The
yes,
draft, I spoke about how, like I spoke about how losing bans hurts both teams,
Yeah.
but I really feel like AV have everything and Bombers have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, Relia's pretty good, I guess. Like, Gragas is
When
okay.
she's winning.
Like, okay, Ezreal, sure. Like, you know, there's certain players like Rays, Chiefs in the OPL, they'll pick Ezreal blind pick pretty much every week.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's definitely Ezreal play. But then I look at the other side and I'm like, oh.
It's just
Karma,
a bunch
Sedge,
of things
Nort.
have gone their way, right? Like the early fights, kills going to the Kai'Sa, First Blood going to the Kled is
Yeah.
like
Gold to the wrong
very
people.
useful.
Yeah.
Their front line is beefy. Sejuani really doesn't need any help in that department. Nautilus arguably does, and now he's almost his first completed item. And
Yeah.
I was going to say, given that it was like the response from AV after that Infernal, they use their tempo, they use their time to take down the dragon, so of course Bombers get to like pick where they go on the map. And then it just makes AV's life even easier. Like, you don't want the Karma into the Irelia at this point of the game. If she can just bash heads with a Poppy, then that's fine. And you want Elo getting access to Frey to keep up that pressure. And then Frey, I think, was already topside.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of sitting there like, okay, like this is the lane I go to. We go top, we take down that last outer turret that you see on your screen right now. And it's like both side lanes broken off that single deploy there. So
Yeah.
map was open-ish before, now wide open, and only the structure standing in the mid lane here for Bombers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you want Karma in these fights. I don't expect her to get really anything done in the side lane. And maybe as AV, you're happier not dealing with Poppy, because she's the only person who's still on the clock.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, what Poppy's going to do for his team versus what this Karma's going to do for Kai'Sa Kled,
Yeah.
I don't think it's really close.
Comparable?
No.
Yeah. Oh, Flay
Tekka taking the tower.
did not come out there from Blind Turkey.
Aftershock means takes 0 deeps. And just after I said Karma would do nothing in the side lane, takes tower.
That's turret. Got himself a Ludens, got himself the Sork Boots, working on the second item here, so feeling confident enough given the rotation coming through from Shaw, trying to defend the mid lane, and it looks like both of them will just fall down off the back end. Frey still walking out of base, and honestly for Bombers, they've looked very good in recent weeks, but this is looking like a very rough start to the game. 5,000 gold deficit at 20 minutes with Baron spawning against a 2-item spiked Kai'Sa, a team fight comp in the hands of AV. Almost everything that they want is kind of lining up for this Baron spawn.
Yeah, I mean, Bombers never really got off the ground. They had a plan, I think.
Hashtag take flight this game.
No, I mean, I feel, well, not that they didn't have a plan, but both Seb and Tekka, Seb, as the Bombers playmaker, was happy farming it out.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't looking aggressively for opportunities. He wasn't trying to force the issue at all. He was happy farming it out because both bot and mid lane had priority. But as soon as he opted into taking the neutral, as soon as he opted into taking the dragon, which in any other game was probably the right call.
Yeah. Nothing's happening. Like, let's make some. Let's get a
Nothing's
dragon,
happening,
we'll
but
take
we
it
have
for free.
priority. Let's do something. Okay, I'm gonna start this dragon. As soon as he does that, Aurelia gets solo killed.
Yep.
Okay. Then we reset. We deploy back out to lanes, and then for me, like Bombers, Sebs, he still has that in his mind. Like, top is tough to gank.
Well, hold that thought, though. Elo does
Team
actually
fight.
face check Hook. Not going to quite land, but a big stun from Aurelia. Shaw gets a knockback.
Karma's on her way.
1 there. Sejuani out of the fight. The front line is gone, and a big ulti there from Frey locks them down. Bombers.
Okay, this
looks
is
like
5v5 now.
This is their fight. Kentai, as you mentioned, does arrive. Root onto the Gragas, but he is in stasis. Another kill goes over to B52, but Elo remounts and is looking to take over this fight. AV turning it back around. Over the wall goes the Kled, completely one-man armying the backline. Tekka hits him with a knockback, and Bombers get completely routed.
Yeah, that was not a bad opportunity, I suppose, by the Bombers, but as soon as Kentai got there, as soon as the numbers got evened up, I mean, Reloadable was already dead. Technically, it was a 4v5, but as soon as Kentai made it there, both Styled and Elo were able to play a lot more aggressively,
Recommit to the fight, yeah.
put all their damage to good use, and they're just going to take Baron and Dragon at the same time.
The
because
double
that's-
punish. They're
That's
gonna
what
5-man ace.
Kai'Sa does, I suppose.
Yep, 5-man ace coming through, working on the Athene to buff up his shielding, and Kled solos out the Infernal, adding the second one to the bag there, and Baron on all 5 members, because the respawn came through from Relocal, so...
I mean, outside of taking the Nexus, there probably wasn't much more they could have gotten as a reward for that team fight. That was fat.
Yeah, it was. It was Bombers looking for it. That was a 3-man stack in a bush. We were having a separate conversation, and they're like, okay, they will face check for this dragon. Like, we have the deploy, we have the vision, we have these early plays to be made.
It was
Look
not a
forward
bad
and-
move.
Yeah, no.
Kentai stuck in the side wave. Didn't have anywhere to TP to. But they were just a little bit too far behind.
And I think
Didn't have the damage.
Yeah.
We got Frozen Fist Ezreal. Just didn't have the damage to kill anyone other than Relopal. I mean, maybe there's an argument for, pick the support and leave. But, like, I don't really think there is a leaving.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. You mentioned specifically the Frozen Fist Ezreal. That's all they had left. We talked about Aurelia. All of our stuff is front-loaded. He landed a big ulti onto multiple
Yeah.
people, and we're like, this could be Bomber's fight. Maybe they can win this one fighting
In
at
a
the choke
closer
point,
game,
but
that would have been game turn.
yeah, but then they used Poppy ulti to knock out just the Sejuani they take down Nautilus, and then that's all they've got left. The Ezreal hitting slows with a Frozen Fist to walk away. You can't just walk away from the Karma. You can't walk away from the Kled. All of these move speed boosts just start charging at you, and as soon as the numbers got equalized there, it was just so easy for AV to turn this one around. The damage in their back pockets, 5 kills on the Kai'Sa, 2 items on the Kled. With the boost that they do have, just charge it forward and clean up the back end. More turrets falling down, and AV almost knocking on the base at 24 minutes here.
Yeah, not sure where Kai'Sa's going. Looks like they're opting not to push this middle lane in. Although, they might have to now. Ease the pressure off. But, no, 3 waves of Baron. Huge gold lead, double Infernal, plus a Mountain. I mean, they just need to play the waves at this stage. Bombers don't have, they don't have a Hail Mary to throw. Like, they don't have... The only thing they can do is... Seb has to hit the
Flash,
Gragas ult.
yeah.
He doesn't even have Flash.
Yeah,
he just
that's
has to
the-
hit the Gragas ult of a lifetime. And
Ooh.
yeah, just going to throw Sejuani ult to pressure the tower. Taking a lot of damage. Aurelia ult comes out, but he has a stopwatch. Elo taking a little bit of damage. Frey commits. A lot of damage coming out from the back line of AVA though, and pinned against the wall means Style won't be able to do damage, but Kai'Sa's Karma's here now.
Lance Hook is going to land onto reload full, but it's just the one man dead. The continued push is coming through from AV. Minions doing work top side, but mid lane being able to push down. Okay, so Bombers have successfully defended the base. In-hit turret does fall down, but losing the front line for AV does actually spell the rest of that push. They are going to reset with the Baron recalls there. Quickly head back to base and maybe look for round number 2 in the next deploy. But Bombers successful for the time being. You were mentioning the Hail Mary. Kind of all they have is Seb and his flash, like E-flash, body slam, ulti someone into your backline, maybe you can get a pick. Opportunity wasn't there yet, but he's going to have the flash for the next fight that will ensue.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, the miracle hook. When Gragas flash comes back up, there's no flash on Kai'Sa for now. No flash on the Karma. Someone's typing in all chat.
It's such a recognizable sound. As soon as you
Yeah.
play a game of League of Legends, you hear that, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, who did it?
Who's-
Like, what are
what do they
saying?
say?
What are they saying?
Are they flaming their own teammates or
Flaming
the
me?
enemy?
Was it my fault?
Me?
No. Couldn't
My
be.
turn? No. I play good.
Interesting situation here from Styled. Just kind
How
of
so?
sitting in mid lane. He's been
Is he
around the
okay?
corner.
Is that what he's alt chatting about? Hey
Maybe
guys.
maybe all chat was, hey, we ran out of ports time because we used it all playing champ select, but... Oh, no, he's moving. I just
Okay,
want to
he's
wait for the wave. Okay, so just a very patient player. You either have in League of Legends, you have players that hit the S button and players that don't, that only move around.
Yeah.
Clearly
standing on the
Styled
spot.
is an S button player.
Yep.
So, just wants to hit the brakes, press stop, just wait for the wave to continue this push in. Now Baron is gone, but they still do have a significant
reckon?
gold lead, 10,000.
Is better for the longevity of your career.
Probably S button, but right-clicking is cooler.
I thought you would say that, but then I also thought maybe it's because the right click is right click that they're pro players.
Maybe.
Maybe it's that constant action that gives them the good mechanics that they wouldn't have otherwise.
It's like boxing, right? Like, you got to stay on your toes. I'm
True.
always ready to juke something, some skill shot that's flying in my direction.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm constantly moving.
Yeah.
Although, I don't think that holds up, given that it is just my finger moving an avatar and not actually my body bouncing on the balls of my feet.
You don't get tired from it either.
Yes. So, kind of like when people get lazy to ward in League of Legends. You're like, come on, like, how can you be lazy? Like,
Yeah, it's a different kind of laziness,
Mm.
hey. It's mental laziness.
Mhm.
It's like
Like, this
when
is-
you break it down, when you look at it from a macro perspective, it's like, I couldn't be bothered taking a quarter of a second to click in this direction, to
to walk further up the river to
yeah,
place
and
the
just
ward,
like
yeah.
put the ward down. Like, I couldn't be bothered doing that. Like, imagine saying that to someone who didn't play LoL. Like,
Because it's so it's so relatable.
it's so relatable
It's so
for us,
relatable.
but it's so ridiculous at a surface level.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly is. Last push expelled there from Bombers as AV going to reset, add the third Infernal Dragon to their belt. So that's a Kai'Sa with absolutely zero defensive items, not even the Merc Trades or the Ninja Tabi, gone straight DPS, dishing it out here. So
Yeah, I mean, she has Ardent and Athenes from Karma. She now has Knight's Vow.
mhm.
She's got the Zeke.
Everybody else bought her defensive items,
Yeah.
and he's just like, all right, I'll just
Yeah.
buy more damage, guys. It's fine.
Yeah.
I like swords. Baron spawned as well, so AV kind of made their one push.
Triple fire.
Tekka died and weren't able to continue that one,
That's
but may
nasty.
get round number 2 here.
Okay, Styled shoving the mid wave in first. I like that. Shove the wave in where you can. Tekka just doing a little
Dancing.
piggy dance.
Just snorting it up in the pit. No wards deeper than the red buff here for Bombers, and that's actually going to be the start. Infernal's kind of budget Mountain Dragons as well.
True.
Able to buff up your stats there, and this Baron got absolutely one shot. The check came through early from Zenk, and they hadn't even started it then, but basically dead from that point onwards. And this is a very difficult game to continue holding here for Bombers fans.
Yeah, I don't even think it was a check. Like, this Baron would die so fast. You just throw it
This is
at
my
any time
steal.
for the steal.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, either this works or it
It's
doesn't.
Schrodinger's
'cause-
Baron. Either it's dead or it's not. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is my Hail Mary that's
It's
coming
like losing
through.
your bands. It's like, this has already happened to me. I've already lost this Baron. Let's throw it out, see what happens.
Yep. But Hook. Potential there for Blind Tick. He has the flash, and I feel like Seb's flash is a big one to watch here. The fight will have to come eventually. Bombers can't afford to let AV take multiple inhibs before they make their last defense. So this top one,
That's one broken. Are they
Already
going to
dead.
walk through mid lane or are they going to walk from top lane? Decide
like-
to back out, walk through mid.
there is actually some vision behind where AV are. Shallow side Bombers jungle. So if Shaw wanted to look for a flank TP, capabilities certainly are there.
Yeah.
Not a short distance, not a long distance, I should say, between him and the fight, so it probably should be spotted there from AV if it is to happen, but
This
five-man
is
push.
definitely a, like, inhibs give us more farm situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm saying in team chat. Like, oh, don't worry, guys, we just get more farm this way.
Israel's gonna be
there is-
massive.
there is no world in which they can do anything.
More is coming.
I was promised more.
Take the inhibs, please.
Because even if
yeah.
they TP flank, like, what needs to happen? Shaw needs to, like,
Flash stun
Flash
styled
stun.
into a wall. Oh,
get
this
an
could
Smithy
be
in the
it.
middle lane,
Yeah.
but they break open. Maybe that is what they need. Like, just
Ooh.
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gargoyle
Engage.
popped onto the Sejuani, but she gets knocked back.
Reload pull flashes out. I think this is just going to be a disengage. Had a number of ults burned there. 3 ults burned for the Sejuani flash. Sej has Warmogs as well. Hopefully that was the indicator. That was the trigger for AVA to realize, like, hang on. We have triple fire and 3 infernals. Let's win the game.
Okay, Hook. Potential once again. And I
Reload
feel like
pull,
we're
just
definitely getting
hang
into
in.
that sort of territory, right? Like, at a certain point, you have to be looking at AV like, this is the second Baron looking to close this game out right now. 10,000, 11,000 is the gold lead. Kai'Sa enormous, Kled enormous.
Like,
Karma
this
enormous
is-
as well. That's a W
Oh,
star.
oh,
Once it
forwards.
actually goes forwards there,
Okay.
big chunk.
That's a
onto
huge
the
chunk, though,
Ezreal.
because that's going to open up the base for them.
Yep.
One tower down, working on the inhib.
Oh.
Fresh hook lands. Stun lands
Ooh.
also, but Shaw's looking for something. W procced. But it's not going to be enough. I mean, Star is too strong. Thought ult comes out, as does the Mantra E. Kai'Sa just autoing whoever she can. Elo dives the back line. Really ult comes out, but not much doing. Dismounted. Star's not even worrying about the team fight. He's just working on his towers. A million Baron creeps. This will be the slow-mo end, I think, here. They just need to walk these
Stun.
creeps in. It's running some big E-flash from Seb, but with no carries to do damage for him, I think that will be game 1 of the night. Going over to AVA. The back of some fantastic drafting.
Yep.
And some pretty good play as well.
Getting themselves a big lead in the early game. Phone goes off onto the seat. And able to snowball that one out. It was a slow end, we were saying. Like, it got to that point where it's like, okay, like, how are they looking to end this one? It has been a little too long, some would
it was
say.
just getting to
But
that point.
Yeah,
but they just do it.
as soon as you go to say that, of course, they end the game, much like earlier.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, nothing is happening
Happened
right now.
3
but-
times that game.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
Commentator's curse.
That is the curse. That is it. But AV, very dominant victory over the Bombers.
Yeah, it was in the end. Like that was the Baron. Like
Yeah.
if that Baron ended without the game being finished,
Yeah, you're like,
I would have been
okay.
like, come on, guys. Like, but they ended it. Shouts out Styled. I liked
Yeah.
just altered forwards at the end. He was just like, you know what, stuff it. I'm just gonna go in, pop my Q. Ezreal 1 bar of health. Like either he goes back or he keeps throwing like Qs
Yeah.
with no autos. We just take these towers and they just ran it forward.
Yeah, because that's all you're looking for. It's a numbers disadvantage, right? And it gets
Yeah,
harder
yeah.
to obtain once you're
Yeah.
in their base. But he lands the W, did 9 million damage onto the Ezreal. It's like, okay, I can get that little bit more.
Yep.
Open that one up. Last
Force him out.
inhib. And it was the game there for AV, so they were able to pick up the victory of the first game of the night. A little bit of delays there, but we are heading into game number 2 just after the short 3-minute break. Don't go anywhere.